Hello everyone. We in Group 2 will introduce the prospect and usage of derived credentials in the healthcare industry. So what are derived credentials? Derived credentials rely heavily on multi-factor authentication, which we will cover in succeeding slides. NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, defines derived credentials as the process of an individual proving to a CSP, credential service provider, that they are the rightful subject of an identity record that is bound to one or more authenticators they possess. This process is made available by a CSP that wants individuals to have an opportunity to obtain new authenticators bound to the existing identity proofed record or credential. The short, less confusing version of this is that a derived credential is defined as an authentication credential that is derived from current existing credential as a reinforced version of MFA. Here, you see an abbreviated version of how derived credentials can be used with personal identity verification cards, also known as PIV, or common access cards, also known as CAC. This diagram shows how an employee would use their existing ID card to create a derived credential to access sensitive information on their mobile device.
Now that Darian has answered the question of what derived credentials are, in the next couple slides we'll give some background information on why the implementation of derived credentials is important, beginning with the goal of information security within an organization to support the overall mission of the organization. An organization implements security controls to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the organizational systems and data, which enables them to achieve their business mission. As organizations develop overall information security programs, they should focus on implementing a defense-in-depth strategy, which includes layering of information security best practices to protect the data stored, transmitted, and/or processed by the organization to ensure the organization is able to achieve their business mission. A critical aspect of any successful defense-in-depth strategy is effective identity and access control to the information system, focusing on the multi-factor authentication. By combining, for example, something you know and something you have, and really any combination of the authentication types, provides strong authentication and a higher level of assurance that the user is who they claim to be. Strong authentication reinforces the CIA triad and prevents man-in-the-middle attacks. This assurance that the user is who they claim to be is an essential step in the overall security of information systems. How are derived credentials different? And why wouldn't an organization opt to implement biometrics or conventional smart card readers attached to devices? Organizations are facing increasing pressure by users for mobile access to system resources. There are many limitations associated with conventional smart card readers that attach to mobile devices, and there are high expenses associated with the implementation of biometrics and physical smart card readers. Derived credential implementations are able to maintain high levels of security that are accepted by the U.S. government in addition to commercial users. Device-agnostic implementation capabilities will reinforce user adoption and increase the likelihood of the program's success. Organizations will achieve greater enterprise-wide identity and access control over mobile devices and users' access that they otherwise would not have had. Future expansion and investment potential is another key element for organizations to consider, since there is active research being conducted on the use of derived credentials. Organizations' awareness of the increasing need for multi-factor authentication and increasing their defense-in-depth security strategy is on the rise. The Target data breach case study is a great example of this. In December 2013, over 40 million credit cards were stolen. Attackers were able to gain access to Target system through a vendor portal by sending a phishing email and collecting HVAC vendor credential information. This breach could have been prevented using a defense-in-depth strategy requiring multi-factor authentication for all organizational users, including vendors.
The business challenges that we face are the transformation of key business processes for changing the markets and healthcare reform imperatives while keeping security and privacy of patients at mind. So when we think about our technology, we are really wanting to bring patients into focus. Larger hospitals and teaching institutions are the most at risk for data breaches across industries. According to Reuters, part of this is due to out-of-date devices that involve hospital operations that are frankly too difficult to place a band-aid over without the potential of disruption of critical operations. Between January 1st and August 31st in 2016, 30% of incidents on HHS's public breach tool involved a business associate or a vendor. These data breaches have cost the healthcare industry upwards of $5.6 billion. Although hospitals are paying more attention to cybersecurity, negligence is still prevalent with the number of staff that have access to patient data and potentially misuse it. Additionally, 38% of healthcare organizations were aware of medical identity theft, and most did not do anything to protect their patients. Heritage Valley is taking a key step in protecting patient data, its own proprietary information, and most important, building the trust with the patient and other stakeholders to showcase that this hospital is taking the necessary steps to protect its data and is investing in technologies in an industry that seems to be playing catch up.
In a world where 1 in 4 patients have had their healthcare data stolen in the past year, according to a recent Accenture survey, it has become increasingly important that companies, specifically hospitals and doctors' offices, develop extensive framework around their privacies and accesses, ensuring that people can only see what they're supposed to see within their systems and their data warehouses. As healthcare becomes an increasingly large target, it is becoming more important for these CIOs to take a deep interest in protecting their data, maintaining the integrity of their IT controls, and ensuring that their reputations do not become tarnished as a result of data breach or hack. As we have seen today, Derived Credentials gives the aspects of confidentiality, integrity, and availability to organizations that are continuously changing, such as hospitals. It'll be an interesting development in the near future, watching how hospitals and organizations alike implement different practices such as derived credentials. And hopefully we will continue to see a positive impact from derived credentials and other authentication systems that are continuously being released. Thanks for joining us on our presentation today.